someone's got trauma in their womb and they don't know they've got trauma in their womb, but it's perhaps they've got endo or they've got PCOS or they're having difficulties falling pregnant. How can someone, what do you do? Do you sit there? Do you focus on your womb? Do you meditate? Like, how does someone begin to know or to understand if they may have some old trauma in their womb, sorry.
I mean, that's a great one because it's womb wound, right?
Yeah, there you go.
I think that there's subtle ways of communication. And so that will generally, you'll see that be reflected in your cycle. So the health of your period. It may be too that when you're engaging in intimacy, that the body starts to go into you'll notice that it starts to be resistant to that because the body is remembering that potentially there has been some trauma, whether there's been sexual trauma. So the body will have that instant response of going into its protection.
Mhm.
Um, so there are really like little subtle cues for the body or it will go into it want to disarm, but it won't disarm. So it goes into holding.
Okay.
Um, so one of the ways that I recommend is, yeah, just to gently put your hands on your womb center and just to breathe into her. And that's just a place to start because
Mhm.
that breath then creates that sense of expansiveness. It starts to create a little bit more space. But
Mm.
it's also it's then creating an environment of where you feel safe and protected in that.
Okay.
So whether that's at home in a room where you're by yourself, and then you have a journal to be able to write around that. Because sometimes too, if there has been a lot of trauma, is that the body we disassociate. So the mind has a way of protecting us and shutting us off from that experience.
Mm.
And it's also too, we when we feel ready, it's like I think the body gives us those cues to be able to go, okay, now I'm ready to be able to explore this a little more. So that simplicity of putting hands on womb, left hand being the feminine onto the womb with the right hand on top, and
Mhm.
just and then even just hand to heart, hand on your heart, hand on your womb,
Mhm.
and just allowing breath to move through those parts of your body. And then you can just start that dialogue like, how am I feeling? What am I experiencing here? And then just to journal around that. And then,
Yeah.
of course, come into Mayan massage